had a in my shoulder. You got a picture me. You got the picture me. Pacific ice on my ocean. Ready for war like I'm Russian. Ladies should never the luggage. My diamonds, they tussling. My neck and my belly. They calling for me and they. You want me like me and I look. Yeah. Her Rex on her. Yeah. Big Rex better calm down. Yeah. If you go around, come around. Yeah. Whole squad. Yeah. Squad goes on me. Yeah. Make some orange gel on my toes. Yeah. Farrakhan glass for the chosen. Yeah. You can go and get mad. Jumping in the bed with 2 dark teeth, man. Who's you? My shawty pulling up with a real bad. You too. Dripping my swag. Something to do with that. I got the streets on my back. Carry it like I'm moving the. I told him the hunter, like he trying to move it up. It was like 11 in the morning. Skipping school, that's a truancy about it. I made me some rest in the morning. I had me up by the morning. I had me some breaks by the morning. I had a sis by the morning. I got on a meat on pneumonia. The rats keep me up on the podium. I had a in my shoulder. You got a picture.
You got a picture me. Send me calling. Ready for war like Korea. Headlining shows out in Poland. You should be cleaning my mansion. My peasants disgusting. Why don't you act like a Hoffman and go get to dustin'? Yeah, latex on my. Go clean my crown. You can hear my haters from way up here. They don't make a sound. Money goes on these. White paint on my toes. When I see that new bay alert, gonna be mad. Jumping in the bed, then I switch to the ghost like who's you? Remember this face, cause I'm that you gon' lose too. Dripping in ice, you looking at you. It's squad goals win. Are you pretty like no?
I never did anybody, but I got something to do with that. I got the streets on my back. Carry it like I'm moving the. I told him the hunter, like he trying to move it up. It was like 11 in the morning. Skipping school, that's a truancy about it. I made me some rest in the morning. I had me up by the morning. I had me some breaks by the morning. I had a sis by the morning. I got on a meat on pneumonia. The rats keep me up on the podium. I had a in my shoulder. You got a picture. Jumping in the bed with 2 dark teeth, man. Who's you? My shawty pulling up with a real bad. You too. Dripping my swag.
They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, cop the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them. Look at them. How to make it in America. Real day one, ain't a lot of us. Mom worked 2 jobs, it was hard for us. Me and sis made it out, now she proud of us. They didn't teach me how to rap in those private schools. Wasn't like my rich friends, had a lot to lose. Less money, less options, lot of rules. So when that first deal came, it was opportune.
All right, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, obviously they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. Second down, Mayfield. He completes it to Julio Jones. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. Man open, that's Kiki QT, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Only a yard in the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped.
Gun!
From the gun, Mayfield. For the sideline, and he will have the 1st down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A 1st down throw for Mayfield. And this is incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Throwing again, Mayfield on 2nd and 10. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Boom, landed.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs, gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
Mayfield on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Let's go! 3-19!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Watch him now, Barney!
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. And Parkey's kick is good. And the Falcons are out to a 3-0 advantage. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And now running right through it. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their efficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A first red zone opportunity for the Panthers thus far. They've got a first and goal from the 10-yard line. Now they'll run it on the toss. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a second and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. He picks up 7 yards there, but they're still faced with a difficult third and goal here. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
The penalty gets them half the distance closer, but they'll still need to come up with something on third and goal.
No, check, Patriot!
On the ground, McCaffrey. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers are going to take a first-quarter lead. Gold able to tack on the extra point. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gassed,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield and giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block would be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. That one good for 12 yards. And it'll be second down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29. The Falcons on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
All right, here we go.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Johnny Townsend to punt it. Christian McCaffrey deep for Carolina. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. And onto the field, here come the Panthers. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a bead on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Back to throw. He's going to wind up and air it out. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Vic Beasley in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. Here's the Panthers punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Atlanta now coming out on the field. The crowd maybe losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Mayfield. Jones has it. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Set, 319! 319!
3rd and short yardage. Mayfield over the middle. That's caught by QT. And he's got this down to the 35. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a 1st down for them, too.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. And it's caught on the right side at Smith. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. And again, it's Mayfield. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Well, the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week, he hit on right at 50%. This week, he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way. That's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go down at the 28. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And the Panthers coming out now. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. Oh, and now he bowls him over. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got this down to the 35. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Well, after those plays, the offense coordinator has to feel like he has balance in his favor. Threw it, then ran it, both for nice chunks of yardage. Now he feels like he's got things going in his direction, but the defensive coordinator, his guys are off balance a little bit. How does he set up, and what does he plan for on the next play? Is there a tendency there he can lock in on and maybe set his defensive call?
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll set up a throw. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. They'll get just a couple, but the sticks move again. Now a handoff looking right. A little second effort there on the strong run. And then drop just inside of the 20. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Detroit! Detroit! Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
Another run, this time McCaffrey. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Hey, we
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And Gold is able to put it through. And they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So out come the Falcons now. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Mayfield now on second down. He sets to fire deep, and he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down. So 1:56 to play in this first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. The Falcons on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And finding the tight end, Hooper. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. A big boot that time. 57 yards, the official distance. And the Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had a field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Back to the ground on first, it's McCaffrey, and he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. Vic Beasley able to make the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
2nd and 2 now. The penalty leaves him in pretty good shape. They'll look to throw. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Back to throw now on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, It tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's good. And that's caught inside the 30. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll set up to throw, eluding the pressure right. And here he'll get it down to the 7. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And Gold is able to put it through. So it's halftime here. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you termed that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Panthers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. He'll look to throw. Funches has it complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
From the gun, Mayfield. He's going to float this one deep right side. And got his man complete. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 61 yards. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's first down on the other side of the field.
Detroit! 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 Detroit!
First down, Mayfield. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target. And it's second down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Now let's go! 319! 319! Gone!
Mayfield on play action. And he comes back with one complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Detroit! 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 Gone! 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 Gone!
Second down, Mayfield. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And a quick slant gets exactly 10, and by the nose of the football, they've got a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal.
All right, here we go. Green 39! Green 39! Detroit! Detroit! No. Check. Patriot! Patriot!
Play action now. Here's Mayfield looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. And I do believe this is going to wind up a safety. It is. It's a safety. How about that for a wacky play? Wow, what a disaster. You talk about a guy making a good play on the interception and then just trying to be too cute on the return.
It almost felt like his own gyroscope really got out of whack, didn't it? Going backwards into your own end zone after such a great play. Totally disoriented and gave up 2 points for his team.
Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. On the stop was Aaron Donald.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Now a second down throw for Mayfield. He's got Smith here. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And they'll run it here. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And he's brought down. A nice little juke move that preceded it, but not much thereafter. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down. Looking to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. With 5 yards on the play there, the drive will continue. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. This is McCaffrey on the give. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Tackle made by Devondre Campbell.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers out in front and in control of the football as well as we begin quarter number 4. Now back to throw. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. The Panthers on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. They're going to look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Here's the Panthers punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trite expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Blue landed.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10.
All right, here we go.
A 2nd down throw for Mayfield. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. The power move there couldn't buy him much space. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 7. They'll throw again. Here's Mayfield. Over the middle, that's caught by QT. He went over 100 yards in the wild card round. He's over 100 here as well. And a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
A couple of first downs has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. And he'll find QT on the right side complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Mayfield now on second down. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
The offense on third down tonight, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. He may try and run for this. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the first. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Blue landing. Blue landing.
Mayfield to throw it this time. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
They start on the ground with McCaffrey. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Back to throw here. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. Here's the Panthers punter now. He's been terrific so far. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this one will wind up being down just outside of that 20-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive,
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense will get this one back. Boy, that could have been catastrophic at this late stage of the game, but they avoid disaster. in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to come up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons, as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. And the Falcons going to use another timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. The Panthers on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. 1 possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the 4th quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to, you and your brothers, just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. Back to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down. Clock still rolling here. 4th down.
Yeah, they got to remember they cannot spike it. 4th down, as you noted.
Detroit! Detroit!
Desperation time. Mayfield on 4th down. It's caught. Jones. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now they do indeed get the timeout, so all is not lost. They'll have a chance for one final heave to the end zone.
Detroit! Detroit!
One last shot for Mayfield here. Now a desperation throw deep down. It's caught at the 10. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for Carolina, they'll finish the first half of the schedule dead even at 4-4. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against Jacksonville. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
I done seen the best of them,